About 170 people here so far. But these are happening all across the country. I want to make that clear. This is happening all across the country. We are protesting at the same time with the entire country across 50 states and dozens of major cities. And multiple towns across Wisconsin are activating today. We are not alone in protesting today, and we are in community with the entire people of our country and the entire people of our world. This is true. So at a national level, the 50-51 movement is focused on two nonpartisan objectives. We are for upholding and defending the Constitution. This means we believe that those who swear to uphold the Constitution must be held to that oath. This also means that we believe our state and local lawmakers should do more than raise awareness. They are responsible for taking real action to protect our rights and our freedoms. We oppose executive overreach. We reject any overreach of authority, whether it happens in federal or state or local branches. We call for checks and balances that prevent unilateral decisions. And we insist on transparency. We insist on accountability. We insist to adherence to constitutional limits for all executive officials. That is the 50-51 movement that we stand for. As the 50-51 Wisconsin chapter, we work to synchronize groups and actions across the state, in every city, in every township that is participating. We are guided by our state's motto, forward. Forward. We elevate voices. We are intent on reintegrating curiosity, reintegrating critical consideration back into political discussion within our communities, within our city halls, and in our state capitol. And locally, as a 50-51 Milwaukee group, we reflect the same commitments. We believe forward is for every person, not just the privileged. We advocate for Milwaukee's needs, host peaceful gatherings, and keep our city moving in the right direction. For the people, for Milwaukee, forward. We gather today in peace, yet loudly expressing a basic principle, that corruption destroys and communities build. Today, every individual here is part of a shared community in this national 50-51 movement. We all share a deeper bond that transcends our individual politics, that transcends our individual stories, that transcends our harshest differences. We know what evil looks like. We know what hate feels like. We know what love feels like. And we know in our guts that how Donald Trump is behaving is definitely not loving. It is not godly, that it isn't politics, that it isn't business. It's hate. It's that simple. It's hate. So Milwaukee, let's not pretend that this is business. Let's call it what it is. This is personal. This is personal to us. We're all here together today. We're here together today because in our own ways, we have awoken to the same nightmare. A nightmare where the President of the United States has said he wanted to be a dictator on day one, and then he became one. Are we okay with this? The President of the United States has pardoned violent criminals that attack police officers has pardoned politicians in exchange for favors, has pardoned rapists, predators, has pardoned hundreds of violent criminals. Not because they were innocent, but because Donald Trump seems to like these people. Are we okay with this? No! The President of the United States is a criminal. Yes. Convicted in court. Yes. And it's been proven in court that he's committed sexual assault. Yes. This is the President of the United States. Are we okay with this? No! The President of the United States is ordering the arrest of journalists and protesters and critics simply for saying things that hurt his fragile feelings. Are we okay with this? No! The President of the United States is crashing the economy. While he and the oligarchs are stockpiling cash right now, only so they can buy this stock at a discount. Are we okay with this? No! The President of the United States is backed by the Proud Boys. He is backed by the KKK. He is backed by Nazis. The President of the United States is backed by people sympathetic to all of those groups. Are we okay with this? No! The President of the United States calls veterans and war heroes losers. He calls disabled people losers. He calls journalists losers. He calls professors losers. He calls scientists losers. He calls the people losers. He calls you a loser. Are you okay with this? No! Then stand up to it. Show up for yourself. Show up for your community, as you all here are doing today. President Trump and the oligarchs are delusional. That's the truth. They want to make you feel like you're the delusional one. He is delusional. I need to ask a psychologist to actually verify that, but I'm sure they back me up. Him and the oligarchs, they believe all the people in the world are losers, that they have to control. The truth is, only losers resort to controlling people to get what they want. Donald Trump is a loser bully, and always has been a loser bully. We won't let a bully control us. We fight back. When a bully attacks us, what do? Stand up, fight back! And when we fight, we win. That's true. That wasn't my words, that's somebody else's. But I stand by it. When we fight, we win. We're all here today to say we do not want a president of the United States that fights the people. We want a president of the United States that fights for the people. And until we do, we will fight for the people. We all will fight for this community. So Milwaukee, Wisconsin, we are a community today. Today, each of us is part of a greater whole, a national whole. 50 protests, 50 states, one movement. For the people, for Milwaukee, for Wisconsin, forward. Thank you for being here. Let's keep moving forward together. Now I know there's a handful of people here today have some words to share. There's some who have volunteered already, so if you can, please come here to the table if you've already volunteered, and we'll pass the microphone around. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. Sure thing. Wait, can I put that right in there? Thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Matt, and I'm a kids librarian. And under an administration like that, you know what that means for kids librarians. Believe me, they'll be coming for me. Just like they've come for so many. And it is very heartwarming to see that there are so many people here who despise what this autocracy is doing already. Just look at all the different kinds of issues that we're seeing here. The billionaires versus the middle class, trans kids, immigration, constitutional issues, the length and breadth of the injustice committed by this administration is a bit hard to fathom. But, like you said, we gotta make friends, we gotta take power, and we gotta stand up, and what else? That's the ticket. Now, one other thing, I'll keep this short. Trump and Musk did not do this alone. We are all here to bring down Trump and Musk. They are clearly the villains, but they had help. They had Moms for Liberty. They had the foundations. They had this entire gigantic ecosystem of right-wing think tanks and Koch brothers and funders and all of them. What I'm trying to say is that Trump and Musk are a symptom. And what I really do not want to happen is to say that the best we can do is just defeat Trump and Musk. What will that do? But kick the can down the road another 4 years? No, we can do better than that. After we defeat Trump and Musk, we need something different. We need something better. We need a government that works for the people, that guarantees health care, that guarantees food, that guarantees shelter, true rights of the people. And so, after we've done our tyrannical overthrow, let's keep on gathering and talk about what better things that we can do as Americans. Thank you.
Who's helping organize with us. Thank you so much, Kathy.
If I stand up there, will I miss it? Hi. So, as you know, the number of attacks coming out of the White House is hard to keep up with. They're attacking immigrants, trans people, women, people of color, government employees, scientists, healthcare workers, teachers, librarians, the media, Palestinians, Ukrainians, Europeans, Mexicans, Canadians, and so many others. And park rangers, absolutely. I mentioned them, but thank you. They deserve double mention. But people are standing up against their attacks. Protests are popping up all over the country. And I don't know about you, but I'm finding it hard to keep up with all the protests. So I've been passing this around. If you want to join a local communication network about Milwaukee area protests, send an email. It's on this sheet that I still have many copies of. It's MKE, as in Milwaukee, Unite and Resist @gmail.com. And absolutely, 50501 protests will be included there, but there's other things going on around the city. And since I'm retired now, I have time to comb the internet a few hours a day and gather up this information to help spread the word. So, Donald Trump claims a mandate to carry out his attacks. He claims he won in a landslide last November, but that is just one more of his lies. More than 68% of eligible voters did not vote for Donald Trump last November. Only about 31% of eligible voters chose Donald Trump last November. About 36% of eligible voters did not cast a ballot. And about 30% voted for Kamala Harris. 1% less than the guy who won. And speaking of voting, this has probably been mentioned, you probably know, but be sure to vote for Susan Crawford. This is a nonpartisan race. for Wisconsin Supreme Court this spring. Early voting starts this Tuesday. And April 1st, that's no joke, is the last day to cast a ballot, to cast a vote. Please also vote for Jill Underly to protect our public schools, State Superintendent of Public Instruction, and please vote no on the constitutional amendment about voter ID. Voter ID requirements in Wisconsin are already some of the strictest in the country, and there are estimates that about 20% of eligible voters cannot vote because they don't have the proper ID. That is not okay. So please vote no, and that's not getting a lot of attention, so spread the word about that. Thank you. I have more of these if anybody has it.
To speak next. All right.
Are you on? Okay. Good afternoon. Wow, what a turnout. So my name's Dave, and I'm active with Souls to the Polls, which is a Central City group that promotes voting in Wisconsin. Anyways, I don't know if you heard or saw on that Trump, what Musk recently put on X. And he basically said that Hitler didn't kill the Jews, it was the public employees. And it's so deeply corrupt and ridiculous that it's hard not to respond to. So Souls to the Polls is going to be having a press conference over at City Hall down the street, 3 o'clock on Monday. There'll be a bunch of clergy there who are going to be leading the press conference. And I want to encourage everyone here to come there at 3 o'clock Monday at City Hall, and we expect that there'll be a lot of press there. And as we kind of look at the condition in Washington and in Milwaukee, or in Wisconsin, we can see it's the same Musk money that's driving all these things. So anyways, be there if you can.
Thank you. Available. There's a lot going into this election right now. Elon Musk has invested more than $10 million into political advertising, not into our Wisconsin community, but into political advertising because he is suing our state. He's suing our state right now, and in order to get what he wants, he is voting for the opposition. So get out the vote for the Supreme Court this April 1st. Ready?
Okay, my story, what I want to talk about is a little different than everything that you guys have already expressed. Because a lot of what we're talking about becomes like a little far away. Let's try to figure out how it affects us. Okay. A little closer. I'm originally from Ecuador, okay? So this is a little anecdote. And this can happen in this country. Do not ever think it cannot happen. I was around 9 years old. I woke up to have the country of Ecuador literally populated from people from Chile. And these were the bourgeois. The people that had money were the ones that were able to get out when Pinochet took over. And they came without money. They came with clothes on their back because Pinochet froze the bank accounts. What is Musk doing? He's got your bank account information. These people had to have jobs of cleaning the streets or waiters or maids because they did not have the necessary paperwork to work as lawyers, doctors, engineers, degrees that they had. Now fast forward to Venezuela. Colombia has received over 1 million asylum seekers. Ecuador, almost as much. And how many did the United States take? And what is Trump doing now to these Venezuelans? He's shipping them back to a country where they are disappearing. If you think this young man disappeared from university, that's nothing to what's happening right now in Venezuela. And one thing that Trump is definitely doing, he's playing from the playbook of autocrats. It's 101 straight out. Use fear and hate to create fear and hate from one group to another. It doesn't stop with anybody. So please, anytime that you're able to support law and order and support free speech, what he's doing right now on campuses, what he is already threatening to do to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, to remove all federal funding because he didn't like how they were protesting. That is ridiculous. Anyway, thank you.
I don't usually like publicly speak, but I just thought that it's important to talk about the fact that I just became an eligible voter not too long ago. And there's no reason that the first time that I needed to cast a vote that one of the candidates was a convicted felon. Why is a convicted felon allowed to be on the ballot? Why is somebody who has been found like guilty for sexually assaulting people, why is he allowed to be on a ballot? It doesn't make any sense. There's also no reason that I, an 18-year-old, should have less rights than my grandmother or her mother before her. We need to he's going to keep going, and people voted for their pocketbooks, and he's taking more out of it. You voted to pay less, and now you're gonna pay tenfold because of your own stupidity and not wanting to look at articles and information that was everywhere. They can't read. I guess they're illiterate. But there's no reason that I still need to be fighting for the rights that people were fighting for hundreds of years ago. It doesn't make any sense. You're right.
My name is Mary Beth. I am a veteran. I was in the Army for 6 years, active duty. And way back in the day when I was 18, my first vote ever was for Romney and Ryan, because I was Republican. And then after growing up and meeting more people, and kind of dawned on me, why am I wanting the entire country to be under the laws of my personal convictions of my religion or my political party? And I was a Republican because I thought it was about freedom, and don't we all want to be free, right? That's great. And then as I was realizing some of these things, I realized Republicans aren't about freedom, and they're the only ones trying to put limitations on people right now. And I like freedom more than I like a political party label, so that's why I think we as a group and as a nation need to stop focusing so much on these party labels and start focusing on what these politicians are supporting. So that's one of the most important reasons that 5051 is nonpartisan, is that the whole reason, or the whole fact that we have two main political parties is half the problem with why we're in this situation now. Because people refuse to listen to anything from the other side. So if we just focus on what we can do for each other and what the results of these politicians' actions will be, I think we can finally, hopefully, start voting in ways that will actually fix things. So in the meantime, like a lot of people have said today, let's all just keep getting out here, keep protesting, make them see us. We can all see that Trump is a little upset about the fact that we're out here protesting, and he's not a fan. So I say we keep doing it. Right. And thank you so much for being here today. And I think we all appreciate every other person that's here today. So thank you so much.
Hi everyone, my name is Fred. Just got back in the country, but I've heard from where I was that the media is not covering protests throughout the country. But obviously they're not covering this either, local media. So if every one of us calls each of the local stations, 4, 6, 12, PBS as well, and 18 and 58. Call them up and ask them why they weren't here, and tell them, whether you watch them or not, that you will not watch them ever until they start showing up at things like this. So call the local news and say, where the hell are you?
We got one more community voice to come in here. We're gonna step in.
In Furman, I was at the last one last Tuesday. I led us in a sing-along. I brought the zines again. Nels is going to pass them around so that we can do our sing-along. I was going to tell my story as a disabled person who's lived in Wisconsin her whole life, but something else is on my heart that I want to speak to you guys about today. It's very recent news, you might not be aware. I saw in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel last night. So I grew up in Oak Creek, and some of you may know that in Oak Creek we have the second largest Hmong American population in the country outside of Michigan. And one of my Hmong neighbors that I grew up alongside was disappeared 8 days ago from South Milwaukee. Her name was Ma Yang. She is a mother of 5. And she has a white husband, a white American citizen husband, and they stole her and sent her to Laos, where she has been held for the past 8 days in a military bunker, without her papers, without her phone, unable to speak to anyone. She has been living here since she was 8 months old. For those of you who do not know, the Hmong people were the indigenous tribes of Laos, Thailand, and Vietnam, and they fought for the United States during the Vietnam War. Ma lives here. Ma is an American because after we lost the Vietnam War, we took the people we exploited and we brought them here to Wisconsin and to Minnesota and to Michigan so that they could live without fear of retaliation from North Vietnam. So now we're doing it. Her parents are Vietnam veterans. She's been here her whole life. We made a promise to them in the 60s and 70s that they would be safe, that they would be Americans. We have Voces de la Frontera here. We have other organizations here that are protecting our undocumented neighbors, but we have neglected the Hmong community. I need everyone to call Governor Evers and call AG Call this weekend and tell them to fight to bring Ma home. We owe it to her. So Nels is going to hand out the zines. These have lyrics to 2 songs that I'm going to lead you guys in singing. Because chanting's not enough, we need to bring music and joy to our resistance.
I'll have them up front here.
All right. So the first song is by Woody Guthrie. Anyone know Woody Guthrie? Yeah. He fought in World War II alongside my grandfather. He was an anti-fascist, he was a communist, and he was raised by a member of the Klan, but he grew up to be a good man. The version on this scene today has been remastered for 2024. The lyrics are more appropriate to what we are going through as a nation today. I don't care if your singing voice is good. Treat it like church, okay? Just sing. It doesn't matter how good you sound. All right, here we go. I'm gonna tell you fascists, and you may be surprised, but the people of this world, well, we're getting organized. You're bound to lose. You fascists are bound to lose. All you fascists bound to lose. I said all you fascists bound to lose. Yes, sir, all you fascists bound to lose. You're bound to lose, you fascists bound to lose. You raise hatred, greed, and lies, and misogyny, you got to go. Oh, you fascists and you Nazis. Well, here's a thing or two you should know. You're bound to lose, you fascists bound to lose. Saying I don't care.